All right, so that was just the warm-up. We have another 45 minutes of that in just a sec. I just got to do these intros. I'm going to actually not do them. I'm going to let these guys take over because they're already warmed up. So,
135.
Yeah, Marty and Will, give it up.
Where is it? Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Excuse me, I have to catch my breath. Just came in from Minnesota, and boy, are my arms tired!
So you get to a certain point in life where you realize that there's just not enough time in the day. And so since we've both been traveling, we figured we might as well bring our exercise in here and share it with you guys. So if at any point in time you all are inspired, feel free to get up, join us. There may be other interludes throughout the presentation.
And if anybody is moved to exercise with us during the segments, I'm offering 90 minutes of aim-clear consultation on any subject you like to anybody who goes for that shit.
We didn't talk about this.
What are you bringing, big boy?
I'll also give away 90 minutes of aim-clear consultation for anybody who steps up.
All I could say is, look at these finely chiseled calves, don't you know? So there's actually a reason. Catching my breath. That was a harsh warm-up. Top 5 things to never tell your personal trainer. Gee, Kelly, that was a wussy warm-up. So there's actually a reason Will and I are celebrating life. You may or may not know this, but in the online marketing industry, Will and I share a really interesting distinction. We both have undergone, since you've known us, open heart surgery that threatened our life. So it's years later for me, thank you. It's years later for Will, but this is the 2 years. Right?
Really like 15 months, but you know,
Okay.
Who's counting?
We're both in the best shape of our life, by far. Did I say those finely chiseled calves? I had to wear shorts, otherwise my junk would be showing.
Well, you know, and there's not many people that Marty knows that the answer is going to be yes when he says, "Did you bring a pair of running tights?"
But the reality is that Will and I have spoken all over the world over the last 5 or 6 years. We're great friends, and this is the first time we've appeared together since he survived. He missed last year because of heart surgery, so I just want to say thank you very much. You're the most beautiful audience in the world, and we're ready to rock your world. You keep it, I'll run from here. Okay. There are surprise exercise interludes. Did I say 90 minutes of Skype consultation with Aim Clear on any topic that you like? We know a little bit about marketing. That was just bullshit to get my breath again. That was crazy. I am in charge of my own self. You ready? Okay, so when we say bootstrapping, I think we know what that means. We don't want to spend any money. We want to have the invoice to send out before we buy the computer to do it on. Social media, I think we know what that is. B2B, B2C, well, what else is there? B2B and B2C reality, because most people's brains have kind of turned to mush about social media. And revenue. Raise your hand if it's not your job to ship somebody a bucket of money at the end of every day. Yeah, keep it to yourself. At the end of the day, for us, it's all about making money. We're marketers. We sell stuff. That's what we do. Sometimes I think it's the only thing. The reality is I like to rub it all over my body late at night. Money. Give me money. Sometimes I think money's the only reason I do this, except I love it. It's my hobby. Are you all ready after lunch? Are you awake? Make an explosion noise? Say yes if you're ready. Yeah. Nice. I live at the top one, at the tip of the greatest of the Great Lakes, Lake Superior.
And I live at the bottom one, at the top of the Gulf of Mexico, where we have the occasional, oil spill.
Yeah. It's a wonderful place to live, Duluth, Minnesota, Duluth, like I got a ting stuck in my throat by the oarboat on my way to Thunder Bay, Ontario. It looks like that a lot of the time, but most of the time it looks like that. Really, I'm serious.
And so I think of Marty a lot during the winter time.
Is it my tights?
Yes. I actually have Duluth saved as one of my weather locations because it never looks like that where I live. Sometimes it looks like that. And every 30 years or so, it looks like that. I got it.
Oh, so confused.
He's like, just so y'all are clear, it's gonna be like this the whole way through. And what'd you say, Kent?
No.
Another 45 minutes?
Yeah, 45 minutes.
Okay, sweet. Only 100.
What time is the next session?
We're done at 4.
No, we're not.
Okay, well, we'll be hopeful. But the good news is that most of the time, this is what it looks like where I live. And so, Marty, snow, Will, streetcars, and sort of pastoral beauty. So, I think we all know that social media is a little bit important, right?
Yeah, social media is important, right? But most people don't exactly know why. I'll tell you why, because the targeting when you pay is implicit and the interactions you get from paying are organic. Like, you think about who you could target, like influencer targeting, people who are members of education unions or are technology early adopters. If you're selling a SaaS for teachers, that might be a great place to go. Social is important because of your ability to do unbelievably deep targeting. This is what we're going to talk about here today.
So we're going to start with some of the typical social media myths that need debunking repeatedly. We're going to ask the question, what is social anyway? And we're going to talk about some common barriers to success, and then finally, we're going to give you 8 attainable steps to achieve social media success.
And don't worry, if you're an advanced person, then we're going to have some really fun nuggets for you. And if you're newer to earning money with social media, then we've got some really fun stuff for you. Raise your hand if you make so much money from social media that you never need to consider any other tactics ever. Come on, raise them high. So we'll go from mild to wild. There's a lot of misunderstanding about social media and what it's good for and what it's not. Let's just do away with the myths to begin with.
And just to be clear, that's the body type that I'm aspiring to, minus the horns. So, the tattoos would be all right too. I'm currently undecorated. As we all know, all you have to do is put that page out there and everybody's going to come running, right?
If you build it, they may not come. They probably won't. They probably won't. B2B is worthless. Social is worthless for B2B, right? I hope you think that because there's more social B2B for me.
And it's really all about whether or not it goes viral, right, Matt? Viral is the only way to go.
Viral.
Viral.
Glenda Ray, 10 million views, 15 minutes. No, real social media success is usually not viral. Usually it's home runs in slow motion that you do every single day.
And what about communities? Are communities valuable?
No, not all the time. Communities are not always valuable. And lots of people think that social media is free. That's really funny. It's like saying SEO is free. Trust me, I cost more than AdWords.
And Twitter only works for celebrities and big brands. It definitely doesn't work for your mom and pop store or, say, a B2B enterprise.
Except for the one tweet that sells a Lexus, the one tweet from an empathetic dealership. And you know what? He who dies with the most followers doesn't win. He who dies with the most followers is dead with the most followers.
But wait, what about blogs? Blogs are going to be our savior,
They
right?
will save the world. The Red Sea will part.
Everybody needs a blog.
You know what? Not everybody needs a blog. The reason is because a blog is a content management system. Everyone needs recurrent content. And reciprocally, people say blogs are dumb. You know what? Blogs are not dumb. Some bloggers are really dumb. Blogs are smart.
One of my favorite quotes of all time is and everybody's heard this, 50% of my marketing budget is wasted if only I knew which 50%. So it's not the social media that's not measurable, it's the
marketers that you can't measure. Tiny, right?
The good news is that none of this guy's customers are using social media. That's great news for him.
I love when people go, oh, my customers aren't in social, my customers aren't social, like my customers aren't. That's great. More of your customers for me in social.
And just remember, if you can't do quality, quantity is always acceptable.
It does not take a ton of content to turn the world on its ass. Ask ISIS.
Wah, wah, wah.
No, I'm serious. They're assholes, but they're good at social media. I've waited to say that for weeks.
Okay, I just want to make the point that that was from the Jew at the podium, okay? Just so we're clear.
Tweet, ISIS, they're assholes, but they do social media. Okay, sorry. Social is not a separate strategy from your content strategy. Content is content. Social is a distribution channel. Actually, there's not this big separation. Social is a distribution channel. And you know what? You have plenty of time for social.
What, social media in a minute a day? Social media in an hour
Yeah,
a day?
Google social media a day. Social media hour social media minute There's tons of programs you can undertake that will really, really help. Negative comments will eat your business? No, having a shitty business will eat your business. The best SEO is a product that doesn't suck. I think the person that said that is probably in this room.
I have historically ranked well for phrases like buying Yelp reviews, and I'm telling you, those leads are not worth having. So it's definitely not about staking your claim in every place you can. You don't need to be everywhere.
It's not about quantity at all. It's about being in the right channels. And social is not just about, Google Plus. I'm confused on what slides are. Anybody here think Google Plus is completely idiotic and there's no reason to be on it forever? Don't raise your hand. Don't raise your hand. It's a misconception. Google Plus is actually very important. It's an inexpensive display channel for amplifying your content. It helps things be discovered, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a myth. Google Plus is important.
And social, it's really only about fluffy shit, right?
Social's not, you know what? Martha Stewart talks about knitting doilies and baking cupcakes and recipes at Christmas time. If you're working for the mortgage company at Christmas time, you're trying to keep people from going to Pissed Off Consumer and Better Business Bureau. Social is about first line of defense sometimes, not fluffy shit.
And what about regulated industries? What about my personally identifiable information, for Christ's sake?
So funny, I've been at Mayo Clinic tweeting about the beautiful Chihuly exhibit in the lobby, and they wouldn't answer me until I chided them. Google aim clear Mayo Clinic. I've tried to call them out. Dear Mayo Clinic, HIPAA has nothing to do with telling people where the parking lot is or thanking them for appreciating the art. There's nothing about my medical records there. Oh, and don't you hate when people sell to you right after you friend them on LinkedIn? Somebody connects with me on LinkedIn, and then they sell me right away. This is someone named Anna. She wrote, "Hi, Marty. My name's Anna. I'm a senior project with a large promotional video company. With a video, all your potential clients need to do is click play." Oh, really? Click play. I'd love to contact you with some more information, start helping you expand your client base. Please contact me. I'll respond the same day. It would be mutually beneficial for us to network.
Wait, quick poll. How many people have gotten contacted by explainervideo.me on LinkedIn?
Ew. So
Okay,
I wrote
so
her
all the
back.
three of us.
Anna, I'm working on a blog post about people that cold call by mining group lists. I'm going to use your name and your company in the post. I don't think that joining groups, when I join a group, it's not for you to solicit me, you dumbass. You're prospecting group members that you don't know. Mutually beneficial for us to network means you're trying to sell me stuff. You take me off your list, you're a bad citizen, Anna.
She called him buttface.
So I was speaking to a large group at the Inc. 5000 conference in Phoenix, and I had everybody contact LinkedIn to complain about Anna. It's a myth that you have to respond to everything immediately in social. You just don't. There's always 5 minutes. This somehow makes me feel unclean. The reality is that you should use people that are higher up the food chain in social and not the least qualified ones to speak for your brand, right?
Well, and so the question is, what about the idea that you can just post the same stuff over and over again and people are not going to be there to see it anyway, so why the heck not, right?
It does not help you to post things over and over and over and over and over and over again in social. This is a classic misunderstanding. People think that spending money to amplify your wall content in social is a waste of time. That's crazy ass shit right there. It's crazy. Paid social is not a waste of money. So there, we have surveyed the most common social media myths.
That's a cow's butt. Yeah. Okay, so, don't, hey. There we go, cow's butt. Just a quick question, because we weren't here when this all started off. Have you already heard this one?
Can you turn that up, please? Okay, ready?
Is it over there? Yeah. Okay, so what's it going to be this time? Oh, I'm sorry, wait, that was just the good part.
Pretty stupid, huh?
But really, I mean, don't those after lunch sessions typically suck a lot? Okay.
I'm out of breath, sucker. You talk.
Oh no. Okay.
Those were mountain climber side-by-side burpees right there, people.
As you all can tell, we spent a lot of time planning out the choreography for this.
It's nice to get a workout. We're aiming for 300 calories.
I think we can do it.
Are you somehow uncomfortable?
This is what you get for sitting in the front row, just so you're clear.
It gets worse. We show you our scars. So what is social media good for? Is it good for community building, Will?
Yeah, only when it's intentional, right? When you know whom you're targeting.
Right. You know what social's good for? Keeping people from complaining about your business. Imagine if you're the restaurant that received this review in Yelp. I mean, would you eat there? They're not talking about fish balls. They're not. Selling. Social is amazing for selling. If you're not selling with social media, fix it. Social is amazing for selling. One thing that's really cool about selling, you all know about Facebook targeting. We've been talking about it here at SearchFest for years and years, since the beginning, actually, of Facebook targeting, 2008, right after the platform came out. What's really cool in Facebook right now is that you can qualify people by their spending habits. Like you could take all your Facebook targeting and you could add in the additional filter, they're online spenders, or they're active credit card users, or they mostly use credit cards. Factor that in with education and what sorts of products educated or non-educated people buy. And this is brand new Axiom targeting that has come into Facebook. Now you could take your Facebook targeting and filter it by how many lines of credit there are in the home. That's amazing.
So what do you say to that? This is what I say to that. Go! Right? So this is where you really start to get the data that allows you to sell to people. And if you do it right, you can carry that data all the way through the funnel. So at the top of the funnel, what do you want? You want to acquire leads. You want to get people to actually click on buttons to buy stuff. And then you prove it, right? You say, hey, where did that last, whatever that person was buying, where did they come from? Well, they came from Facebook because it's completely trackable. And even offline events, if you do it right, can be trackable with phone numbers and phone calls.
Social is really great for customer support. We work on some really large brands, I mean iconic consumer brands, and it's like a whole job to do the public affairs, the consumer affairs part, where even just to field the people that are complaining for a major brand, let alone finding people who are, say, have a flat tire and offering them a coupon or a wrecker service or whatever. Social is a place where you have to be as a communication channel to support your customers, that's for sure.
And if you're a brand, please don't piss off a social media marketer.
Don't.
And so the text of this, which got cut off, was, and for those of y'all that can't see that, that's my face down there. After 8 years, Intuit Payments refuses to give us a $50,000 payment. So I tweeted that, and then $47 in ad spend later.
Those are promoted tweets to their followers.
I had a call from the director of that customer service department and an email apologizing for their mistake and indicating that my funds would be released.
In the last 2
Forthwith.
years, I've gotten more than $47,000 and 3 fruit baskets from @Delta Assist. And here's the secret. Buy promoted tweets to companies' followers just in the city where corporate is, and you can run it forever for no money.
I like to do the math on the return on investment of $47 spent, $50,000 recovered.
Customer support systems aren't tooled for assholes like us. And never, never, never make a social media person mad, because for the rest of your career, you will place your opinion of yourself just above or just below ours of you. It's consumer power. Social's amazing for crowdsourcing. What new features should we have? What do you think of the latest release? What color do you think our logo should be? Social media is amazing for crowdsourcing.
It's great for events and promotions. You have to have an engaged audience. I mean, again, it's not about the numbers, it's about what you do with them.
You're in amazing hands here with event promotion and social. SEMpdx is masterful at promoting this conference by way of social. Case in point, you're here. They're really good at it, really good at it.
Well, can you guys believe that this is a smaller regional nonprofit? And they put on a show like this every year. Is this amazing? Thank you, guys. So social can also be a display advertising mechanism.
It's the main reason to use it, in my opinion. I like all this engagement stuff a lot, but it's the most amazing display channel with the greatest aggregated data and user base of anywhere on Earth.
Well, and then when you pair it with traditional display advertising, and you take your demographic data out of Facebook, you drive it back to your website, and you pair it with retargeting ads, that's when it gets really valuable.
For sure. There's lots of emergent engines, or a number of emergent engines, where you could successfully put carts and stuff inside of social communities, most notably Facebook. And if you can get past the barf attack of knowing that somewhere nearby competitors can advertise to your customers when they're very close to the buying experience. That said, I know some businesses that make a meal out of actually selling their stuff, generating phone calls, taking orders right inside of social. It works for that. It works for that.
So PR isn't dead, it's just moved online.
Right, influencer marketing. It's very easy to target thought leadership, users who have a lot of authority, and media roles like morning show hosts and anchors and assignment editors and things like that. And sometimes you have to redefine your concept of what an influencer is. Like if you're marketing to schools, you can speak to the dean of students or the provost or the governor of Kansas that handles the budget. Or how about this? Let's market to the United States Secretary of Health, Education, and Welfare. I know, let's market to the ambassador for Mexico or the Secretary of Homeland Security. I bet we could amplify some content in their feeds that they like a bunch. Seriously, that's Facebook targeting. It's crazy. Type in Secretary of, Ambassador for, et cetera, et cetera.
You guys, I just want to tell you how actionable this presentation is. As we were preparing this presentation, I said, Marty, I need to borrow that targeting from you because I actually need to target this group right now.
Listen, there's about 700,000 people in Facebook who like free WordPress widgets, movable type, V-blogging, and all these amazingly specific blogging sorts of footprint things, and then you can go into any other type of data. So here's all your library or education bloggers, and it works around the world, vertical bloggers. And Facebook and other social channels are amazing for every node of public relations. Every single node of public relations, media roles. That we've been talking about this for some time, and it's the gift that keeps on giving. This is all real Facebook targeting, where you're after interactive producers or bloggers or web producers or associate producers or news producers. But you know what? You can theme them by category, so you can find all your very specific bloggers. It's amazing.
I apologize to any of my friends who happen to work in news media who are here today. It's not that the fourth estate is dying, though it's getting close. What it's really about is better monetizing our PR efforts. When you offer me your newspaper to put native advertising into it and then I can promote it through social, that's when I start to see newspapers as being relevant again.
I just had a thought. We should say a prayer for our brothers and sisters in the Middle East. I'm not kidding. I didn't mean to make light of that, and I apologize if I offended anybody with that. Seriously. That's why I'll need to keep in mind that social is really good for reputation management and image control. Like, he said he's sorry if he offended anybody. I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry.
I appreciate
I mean,
that.
I really am.
No,
I mean, how can I say that without coming off as gratuitous?
Your sincerity is clear.
It is.
Because there's nothing gratuitous about this presentation.
Okay. I will never speak again. I will never speak again. They had almost forgotten. Here's some really weird stuff. I took this picture at Auschwitz and Birkenau. That's the barbed. I recently had the privilege of speaking in Warsaw, Poland, and that's what that picture is. There's lots of barriers to entry for social, many things that prevent people from success. Will, has anybody ever complained to you about limit?
What's next? Okay, that one I'm out of breath.
If I die, I'm going to kill you.
I swear, my cardiologist cleared exactly this.
I don't have enough resources.
There's just not enough time in the day.
Honestly, it's not like we're trying to part the Red Sea or anything. Hold on.
But what about when you have a key employee who owns all of your social assets?
I'm pretty impressed that you can freaking talk. He's like 10 years younger than me.
9.
9. Yeah, you know what? I recently gave my Twitter profile up to my company right after I built it up to about 16,000 followers, where I followed 11 people myself. My company is lucky that I gave it back.
Shameless plug. If you're not following at Marty Weintraub,
I have 11 followers. Maybe you can help.
he's got at least 115.
There's no way to make money, Will. There's no way to make money in social.
Well, you know, there's that whole funnel thing, right?
I like to invert the funnel. I like the point facing, a funnel is normally with the point facing down. I like to make the point facing up, where if we can't sell things, then we do content marketing, then we introduce, et cetera, et cetera.
Close early, close often.
People don't understand as a rule what social is supposed to do or where it fits in the marketing mix. They prattle on endlessly about regulations or compliance or industry guidelines, and they mostly just don't know what to do next. You're not going to turn on that music again, are you?
What, just because it's the right time?
Okay, do it.
Why haven't you been up here with us the whole time?
You ready? Come on up, everybody. Let's dance. Come on.
Let's do something easy.
Ready? Should we jump?
Sure.
Jumping jacks?
Come on. Yeah. Come on. Get up off your thing. Woo! Woo!
It is, you know, in the old days they would have called it an interactive conference. So it's true.
Hold on, just 1 minute. Holy crap, this seems like a good idea. My heart rate is 147.
I don't know if you guys are having a good time, but I know I am. So it's true. You really can make money with social media.
How are you still talking?
The vigorousness of youth, my friend.
Now you're bragging.
I have plenty of things to
How
brag
long
about.
do we have?
You still got 40 minutes. How many more exercises?
We only have one song left, and it was supposed to be the closer.
No, we're done
so-
with the music. Well, what's really cool is that I actually was bumming that I didn't get to work today. We should all go outside afterwards, and we should dance on that street. I swear to God. Interrupt traffic till they pull us over. Okay.
So,
This is what we would do if we had to make money with social right now. Anybody interested? Should we just go home? You want to see my scar? Just kidding. No. Did I say calves of chiseled steel? I just went to an amazing speakers camp, and let me tell you, I'm doing everything wrong. So the very first, as discussed, this is going to go from mild to wild, basic to complex. Hopefully there'll be something in this for everyone here. Hopefully I won't short circuit the computer by bleeding my man sweat all over it. Thanks.
step away from the computer.
Step away. So the first thing you need to, no, you keep it. I'll be fine. I won't, it's my computer. Who cares if I make it messy?
So nobody's ever told you that the first step in social media is listening, right? That's totally new news to you guys?
But actually, the thing that's important about listening is not just listen for crisis management, listen for opportunity. There are as many, if you're any good as a company, there's many opportunities that you may miss. People are saying something nice. The world is full of people reaching out to you about your product, either not happy, ambivalent, or really happy, and it's important to listen. But you don't just listen to brand mentions. It's not just listening to American Express versus MasterCard versus Visa. It's about listening to American Express and, parentheses, Olympic travel or Brazilian soccer, close parentheses, against MasterCard for the same sort of query. Those are Boolean queries. Listen to your brands in combination with concepts and compare that when you listen so you know not only what people are saying about your brand, but what it pertains to and how that fits into the competitive landscape.
And the two most important things that you can say after you've been listening are thank you and you know, we don't work the way Brand X does.
That's funny. Yeah, we don't work that way. And then listening is also not just for hearing things about your brand. It's about maintaining expert status in the space that you work in. Like, for instance, when I listen, I'm listening to Todd Mintz and Search Engine Land and Marketing Land and Search Engine Journal and Search Engine Watch and Seth Godin and Search Influence, because I want to stay up to speed on what is happening in my industry, and I seek complementary and non-competitive material that I could share as true citations for my readers. Think about listening as a place where you automate becoming and maintaining yourself as an expert in your field, in your vertical.
And there's a lot of tools out there. Obviously, you can start with the free and easy Google News, or Google Alerts, rather.
Google does not index everything. We know this, not even close to everything. If you depend on Google Alerts as your main line of reputation monitoring, you're not hearing a lot of what happens.
This is a short list, but there are hundreds of others. And obviously, you know, they go all the way from a few bucks a month up to thousands and thousands a month at the enterprise level with something like Radiant 6.
And the delineating factor for what you choose, and usually the expense, is whether you can create those Boolean sorts of queries that I discussed, where you could listen to your brand terms compared to other people's brand terms, filtered by concepts and products, and et cetera, et cetera. Like, for perspective, anybody here use Sysimo's Heartbeat? It's like $5,000 a year, $6,000 a year, worth every second, right? Every cent. We love it. We like Sysomos Map, the one where you get all the data for after. So number 2 on our pathway to making money with social
is you don't have to be everywhere. This is a big challenge, and we work with a lot of small businesses, and they feel like I've got to be everywhere. And there's really only one social network that matters to you, and that's the one where your customers are.
Right, because everybody knows you need to be in Facebook or LinkedIn, but you know what? It's very important to me that I participate in the Inc. magazine community, and that I'm in their blog, interacting with people that I want to be our customers, because I'm after the fastest growing privately held companies in America for my agency.
And there's complementary effect from being there too. There's, we already talked about the fact that Google Plus really does have some value, i.e. it's indexable everywhere. Well, guess what? If you're engaging in these other social networks and Google Plus, maybe there's an opportunity for those to collaborate in promotion of your message.
If I'm on a desert island and I just have to be in some channels, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, Twitter, we all have to be there. We just have to be there. There's just way too much penetration or way too many implications for SEO to avoid any of these channels. This is especially true given Google's new deal with Twitter. Anybody know about that deal? Say yes. Right, Twitter is fire hosing data to Google to index once again. All of a sudden, Twitter once again is a preeminent SEO weapon with transient spikes, right? That was hard to say out of breath. I can almost breathe again.
What was it? Something SEO weapon with transient spikes?
A formidable SEO weapon with transient spikes.
Formidable SEO weapon.
You're making fun of me now.
No. I'm complimenting you.
A formidable SEO weapon, but the speaking coach would go say, it's a formidable, and then he would say to move intentionally, SEO, and then use my hands, weapon, and then to act out with transient spikes.
I think that would be the cheerleading coach, Marty.
Either that, or I'm going to be a referee at a hockey game, one of the two.
But there's more, right? I mean, it's not always the things that you think about as opportunities to reach that audience.
And if you're in any particular vertical, it's really important to know, like, the exact little, if I make apple picking paraphernalia, I want to be in the apple growers forum, basically. Number 3, in our pathway, he's not near the music yet, in our pathway to profitability with social media is to figure out who are I and why is he here? Who am I and why am I here and what is my voice? Am I admin or am I a fictitious name? No, don't make up names. Like, what is the voice that I take to represent my business? Am I Marty Weintraub and I work at SEMpdx? Well, what happens when I leave?
Absolutely true. And for some reason, my wife prefers the British voice of the man who is, I don't even know what you would call Siri in male form.
Do they make that?
They do.
So who you are in social and how you represent your brand, there are legalities involved and ownership. People come to us all the time and say, well, how should we be our brand in social? And my first question is, who owns it? Are there FTC disclosure requirements for your decision? If Justin Bieber asks is going to represent your brand, he needs to disclose that to keep things cool for your brand with the FTC if you are paying him, right? So keeping disclosure very close to the surface is extremely important, especially when your avatar model is the lovely spokesperson avatar, right?
Yep, and it's really important if you are going to be speaking from multiple mouths that you acquire sing with one voice, right? And so Delta is a great example of this, where every tweet that they post is tagged with the initials of the person who posted it.
Very personal.
So we know that's one person, and I think, how many of you guys fly Delta with some regularity? How many of you have ever tweeted at Delta Assist and gotten a response?
They're awesome.
They are awesome.
And by the way, if you ever want to come at a brand in social media, the first thing you say if you're not happy is, get your supervisor, 2 words, promoted tweets.
And I think we have some clear case studies there.
Don't make the mistake of pasting that dumbass response to me twice, Bosco.
Yeah, and I'm just going to tell y'all from personal experience, the you don't know who you're talking to line really doesn't work.
No. Works for me.
Well, it works for you after you promote the tweet, retrospectively.
After I gave up my Twitter profile back to SEMpdx and started my I have 11 followers at Marty Weintraub profile,
shameless plug.
I came at To-Me Luggage with the SEMpdx Twitter profile, which resulted in a free $1,000 bag. and a stern reprimand from my CEO saying, you can't use our Twitter profile for that anymore, Marty. So the next thing you have to do in your pathway to profitability with social is not look like something that some kid baked up in their garage in 1997, right? You have to achieve credible density.
I've been making fun of these guys for the past 3 years now. Their last tweet was, or their last post, Facebook post, was in 2011, and somehow over the course of the last year, they've acquired one more fan. So this just demonstrates that if a tree service falls on Facebook, it may not make a sound. But
That's funny.
why thank you?
That's actually funny.
As opposed to everything else I say.
I'm gonna sit down, don't mind me.
Yeah, do you want the handheld? You can actually do your thing from down there.
What am I doing?
I don't know, whatever.
It's your slide, man.
Okay. But I keep forgetting that the video guy told us to hang on to the mics. So, but a little bit of promotion goes a long way, right? So I can promise you that there was less than $100 spent promoting this, and it was seen more than 14,000 times. Sadly, TreeMedics is not a client.
So as you seek to achieve credible density in social and not have it look like something that was baked up in somebody's kitchen in 1997, wow, I remembered that. Make sure you go through your privacy settings. I know that sounds really dumb. How many people here have ever heard, oh my God, my WordPress blog is not indexing, only to go into WordPress and find out that that switch that keeps it out of search engine was checked, keep the search engines out? I'm telling you. So it's very important to look into social media profile settings and make sure that you're wide open, because otherwise you won't be discovered, because it's almost zen how the things you put in your social media profile are what shows up for Google in your social profile when it's discovered. So it sounds really basic, but make sure that your privacy settings are all the way open up. And then it's important to network enough. You need to make very intentional decisions about how to network. The best way to be engaging in social is to engage people. Right?
Appropriately.
Follow people who are really cool people. Rebroadcast people with added editorial content. Don't just go RT, RT. Don't just blindly repeat. Go cool. Go thanks. Go excellent. Go wow. I was thinking blah, blah, blah. So say thank you, congrats. Wow, that's a bummer. I really get it. Engage people. Do not be gratuitous. Think of it like this. I would never go up to somebody at a party that I didn't know and say, wow, I really like your tights, Will, and then lick his cheek or something.
Ow.
I mean, I wouldn't do that. I just wouldn't do that, because that is gratuitous and not typical or healthy human behavior, right? I would go, wow, pleased to meet you. Have you considered drowning yourself or something?
Did anybody see Mike Ramsey speak earlier? Yeah, he's pretty cute, right? Yeah, so we were in a bar in Spokane, Washington, and this young lady who looked like something straight out of a 1940s pinup walked up to Mike and said, I like your shoes. That might have been inappropriate because I think she meant something else. Well, I'm ready.
What do you want to do?
I don't know, whatever.
Anybody got any ideas? Exercises? Any exercises? The exercise thing's getting old, Will. So one classic tactic for making friends in social media is to do highly, highly focused research about who is very cool and who you would really like to be in a relationship with, and then to follow them and engage with them. But be very careful of your ratio. Like, you don't want to follow 9,601 people and have 16 people follow you. So make sure that you shed the ones that don't really matter to you if you follow back, if they don't follow back.
I recommend you do this in life as well.
And then make sure you understand, exactly how deep you're going to be in your moderation. You know, there's a case to be made for just hanging out and letting the world come to you, and like the classic wallflower model. But you know, if you own a store on Main Street, you could sit inside and hide in the bathroom, or you could open the door and put some beautiful clothes outside and sit out there and greet passerbys and say, "It's a lovely day, sir or ma'am." Or better yet, you could go to other places and get to know them. Like, you really have to be aware of your moderation depth. Most of all, when you're deciding how to make money in social, you have to set real business goals, like real KPIs. Most people think about the classic ones, awareness or traffic or conversion or in-between goals, right? Here's the list of things that are the most common business goals inside of social. First, you want a reasonably attainable cost. You want a cost that you could bear. Me, I'm after direct response, leads or sales or both, and I want my customers to think of it, now you've got me right where I want you kind of social behavior. If I can't get somebody to do something I want early in the relationship, I want it to be a common pathway to purchase. If I can't accomplish that, then I want to amplify my content to enter them into the funnel, at least in the middle. I can't do that. I want to build some community so they get to know us and will buy. SEO is a fantastic goal. Promoting events are amazing. Amplifying your PR is a spectacular thing to do. I want traffic to my site. If I can't get people to buy stuff, then let's get them in the ecosystem. Then awareness, and other things as we figure it out. The most important thing is that I don't think that social media marketing is always about awareness first. If you have a spectacular product, then people will take your action early in the relationship. Number 7, defining content strategy in social. What is my strategy here? So what is content anyway? Well,
In social, it's anything with a URL, right?
right. You know what? If you think about it, every pin, every Google Plus post, every Facebook post, every YouTube video, every blog post, every tweet, they all have their own URL. Raise your hand if you've ever bought an AdWords search ad to a pin or to an Instagram detail page. Every social community has an ads platform because every ads platform will let you buy an ad to a social detail page in another community, with one exception. Facebook ads will not let you buy an ad to a Google Plus post engagement ad, Google Plus post detail page. Facebook ads will not let you buy an ad to a Plus detail page. Facebook considers Google Plus competition. Other than that, you can buy AdWords to pins, AdWords to Plus posts, AdWords to Facebook detail pages, promoted tweets to Google Plus post detail, etc. Bet you didn't know that. It's really cool. Every social community that has a unique URL for a post has an ads platform or 5.
Well, the good news is that Facebook's at least transparent about it, right? They say you can't point to Google Plus because they're a competitor.
Well, they don't say the competitor part.
Well, they actually did to us.
Oh, they did to us too.
Yeah.
Not in public, though.
Does anybody know what this is? Somebody call it out? It's the Gutenberg Press, right?
Wow.
Yeah. So going way back, what was content about, right? It was about preserving and sharing knowledge. It was originally designed so that we could produce more Bibles, which is always a good idea. I live in the Deep South. Just don't.
Those tights are rocking, Will.
Thanks. Thank you. Here, wait. Let me give you a little more thigh. Is that better?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Ass.
Thanks. So I was out for a jog this morning with Matt, and I saw some dude. Didn't I point that dude out? And I was like, hey, I've got those tights. Yeah. And little. Yeah. Just you got to be open, brother. That's all I'm saying.
Stella has volunteered to do the Mambo to conclude this sentence.
I think that was what we call the Southern man's no. Let me think about that. I'll get back to you. And who knows who this guy is?
He invented the internet.
He invented the internet. He really invented the internet. It wasn't really Al Gore. It was really Tim Berners-Lee, right? And so 5 billion web pages later, but it's not just text, right? I mean, I think we think about content, and particularly when we think about massively scalable content, we think about text. But it's video, it's images, it's Marty talks about promoting pins through other ad platforms. How sexy is that Range Rover? Is everybody else? I mean, like, maybe I'm the only one. It's information. You know, Matt can tell you all about infographics. There's a reason that the USA Today still has an infographic in every single one. It's so that you can share it around the water cooler. So where do all of these things get shared? They get shared around the virtual water cooler. And if you've got a good enough community, even the conversation that emerges around the content is content. I love this, right? 90-something. And again, I'm really, so while it's not as obvious, I'm just as perverse as Marty, and I'm all about corrupting news. So newspapers exist to be corrupted in my mind, and this is an example of paid content. And you can find it on the New York Times, you can find it in the Atlantic, we know, but without connections, it really doesn't do much, right?
There are new guidelines released today for native ads, too, that's going to turn the world upside down.
Oh, from the FTC?
It's in the news today, yeah.
Ooh, goody.
I haven't had a chance to read it.
Yeah, well, we'll see how, okay, come on, guidelines, please. And then the connections are what really help you to get it out there, right? But the compelling, I don't think that he was shooting at ISIS, but you know, he might have been.
Oh, they forgot, Will. They forgot about the ISIS. I'm sorry.
I brought it back, my bad.
Seriously, that stuff is really, really, really frightening. There's like words that I won't use in social media because I'm afraid of what it means. Like, if you look at my personal social media profile, you see that I've almost shut down public things. Because of all people in the world, I know how porous that data is. Social media is a porous rat hole of data. The worst thing you could do in the world is click on one of my ads. That's for sure. Big data, we are the problem. You know what a content strategy is? A content strategy, yep, I told Matt we'll have 8 minutes left. Okay. Good. I told Matt that, because we're supposed to stop at 3:45, yes?
Is that right?
Yes.
Well, for Q&A.
Okay, good. So, you know, Bubba Watson did this thing in cahoots with a brand where he drove a hovercraft across a golf course, and it was like in every single news show everywhere in the world and morning shows. You know what? It was the idea, it was the investment. And when you talk about the big idea that changes the world, remember a couple of years ago when a courageous lady objected to sexist talk during a conference? Everybody ended up getting let go in that one. Like, it's amazing. And then so far as changing the world with social media, you talk about how much content you need. Social media can be like the butterfly wing that in one part of the world causes a tsunami in another part of the world. I recently had the privilege of working on an amazing video. I recommend that you check out search for Airbnb Berlin video. That's our good friend Dennis G. That is amazing content. Don't underestimate the power of amazing content. What's really interesting is that you could spend $1 gazillion and have these amazing ideas and increase your chances of success, but there's no guarantee. And sometimes it's the really simple thing, like dripping all over your computer that can help. Anyway, so don't underestimate the power of amazing content. Then it comes down to social distribution. As you know, Facebook has neutered distribution, and now that you have the content, Facebook is all, thank you very much, Will, Facebook makes fun of users. Like they need better public relations. They just need better PR. Thank you very much, Will. They come right out and say, oh, your content isn't important, and bloggers like to blog about it, but in reality, this is what happened.
This is if you can't read the graphic, this is the correlation of Facebook reach and Facebook stock price. Guess which one is going up?
Whose infographic is that?
Jay Baer.
Jay Baer, right.
If you guys don't read Jay Baer, Convince and Convert, really, really great stuff on social and content. And this is actually a real message that was in the sidebar for a friend of mine who was on their way to restoring a vintage motorcycle. And guess what? Because they happened to say in the context of that post, this will be on sale soon, Facebook was nice enough to suggest that they promote it.
So people are mad at Facebook, actually. People are mad. Let's lay on your side and you're mad. The big thing that you do once you have content, once you're listening, once you have your moderation depth, once you've chosen your content, once you've done all the other things, is you have to target and amplify. We all know about the power of Facebook targeting interest and affinities and proclivities and biases and politics and brand tastes and prejudices and sexuality and occupational psychographics and revenue and income and all the amazing targeting. Which one do you think I think of myself as late at night when I'm all alone? all of them. But let's be real, the reason that we're marketing in social media is because we want traffic, we want to sell things, we need links, we need social signals. If we're going to get likes and follows and shares, we want them to be real. If you distribute to PR and bloggers and you get all that, then you're not going to get nipped on the butt by little hummingbirds and pandas and penguins. So actually, the reason we're in social is for conversion, SEO, and friendship. That's why we're there. So here's a common use case. This is an aggregate of a number of different case studies. You put the thing on your website. We're driving traffic to our website. You package it up nicely. In this case, we're selling tires. So when you're selling tires and you target it, you could either sell to people with new tires or 3-year-old cars where the tires are wearing out. And they go on road trips so their tires wear out faster. And they're service intenders who take care of their cars, right? Then you package it up and put it on your Facebook page. And you don't focus on try my product. You say keeping your family safe is the only consideration. You give them something that they can hold on to and package it. And that's what it looks like in mobile, where it takes up a large percentage of the screen. And you buy a Facebook page post ad. And here's what the data looks like. This is organic for a 2-week period. You're looking at about 2,000 impressions to a community of about 100,000 people. Rendered insignificant by the social amplification, where now we're heading towards 3 million impressions. To the right, it's a hockey stick. But you know what? You could buy reach with a Facebook page post ad, but you cannot fake a response rate that is higher than the reach that you purchased. And if you make websites where the more people that come to the website, the more better actions they take, then you sell more stuff. With really amazing totals for 10,000% more people talking about it. Reach increased thousands of times. And you know what? It sounds imposing, but that costs $300. How can you afford not to amplify your content? How can you afford not to? You always end up with a blended action when you amplify in social. There's a couple different ways of looking at this. You could either go, oh, I sent 307 people to my website, upper right, for lower right, 88 cents a click. Or you could look at the lower left and say, oh, it was a blended action rate of 33 cents, upper right, and the bar graph looked right. But if you're me and somebody goes, oh, what's the value of those likes and engagements? I go, those are all free. I got 88-cent clicks. That's what we're here for. So finally, our takeaways, and thank you for the endurance of this. The 6 minutes that we exercised is the exact amount. We're late right now, so thank you, but I feel better. First takeaway, number 1.
Do not buy into the myths.
Do not buy into the myths. Do not. If you search for Aim Clear 28 Absurd, these myths are listed out. You have to know what social is good for and what it's not good for and what you should use it for. But my advice, be charming, make money.
The common barriers are usually not barriers.
No, the common barriers are barriers for everyone else, and that leaves more social for you, right? More social for you. And then above all,
make money.
Make money. Like, listen, the days of social media programs where we just go, oh, well, we're making people aware of our product. Every single client in the last 10 years that ever came to Aim Clear to do an awareness project came back about 5 weeks later after our rep was fired and said, how come we're not making any money? Sorry. Next takeaway.
Listen for reputation and sharing. But before we leave the last takeaway, it is trackable, right? That's the thing that is important to remember, is that because people say, how do I know I'm making money? Show them they're making money. It's so easy if you just take a little time to figure it out.
Google Tag Manager. Google Tag Manager, right?
So everybody's using Tag Manager?
Google
Right?
Tag Manager.
Yeah? Okay.
Choose the right channels. It's not about being in every single stinking channel. It's about being in the right channels where your customers hang out.
And just because you have multiple mouths singing doesn't mean they can't be singing with one voice. And it needs to be intentional. They need to know what the brand voice is supposed to sound like before you ever put them on the channel.
Even if you don't go anywhere with social and it's not a prominent place of your program, remember that it's a place where customers will discover and judge you. So invest in credible density enough to look like a real brand. Like, you have to look like a brand. You have to have enough people that follow you. Just look real.
Is that it, boys?
No, I was just reminded of another story. But in any case,
There's 4 more takeaways.
Got it.
where are we at? We're only like a minute behind?
Yeah.
Okay, so prioritize your business goals. I mean, what really matters? Is it keeping the customers happy? Is it selling stuff? And then make sure that your content strategy is achievable.
Yeah.
There's nothing sadder than posting 7 times in 2011 and being made fun of at search marketing shows for the next 4 years.
Right, and are you doing single, we always say that if you're the medical company that figures out a life-saving medicine that will save tens of thousands of people's lives over the next decade, and you do a single tweet or a single Google Plus post about that, I mean, there doesn't have to be a lot there. It just has to be the right stuff for the audience. And make sure you target it. Make sure that since social posts are essentially invisible above the fold, mostly even to your own followers, make sure that you are not penny wise and pound foolish. Spend small amounts of money to amplify your content to the right audiences.
And we'll have to see what that FTC directive that came out in the last day or so says. But today, the sponsored messaging on Facebook is not very visible. So if your paid posts look organic, they're gonna get more traction.
I don't want to pimp that product.
But I just want everybody to note the incredibly phallic logo.
Reach Rocket will cost agencies over $80 million in fees next year. I bet that's great to hear for you agencies. I'm Marty. I'm founder and evangelist for a company called Aim Clear. I apologize if I said anything to hurt your feelings, and just know that my heart is in it. And I love you guys so much. This conference is so important to me, so important. And he's Will Scott.
I'm Will Scott.
And he has finely chiseled calves. And so thank you very much. Sure. Nobody has any guns.
All right, so we have a few minutes for questions, so I'm going to walk around. If you want to raise your hand, I'll hand you the mic, and I'll just start right here.
We're going to run to each questioner, right?
Oh, an answer on their mic? Yeah, sure.
My question is just regarding social media profiles in general. I typically would want to set up and optimize social media profiles on most platforms, but pick, say, 3 to 5 of them, like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, to actually fully manage and post on and manage comments. Would you agree with that, or would you not even do the ones that you're not even going to manage?
If it's going to be relevant at some point, you should probably claim it, but I think that your overall strategy is sound.
It's really important to know that social media is a lot like the fax machine or the telephone or telegraph or anything. It's first a communications channel. And if you think that there's any chance that anyone will ever reach out to you in any channel, like, has anybody here ever hi Lisa, has anyone here ever done any sales from someone they did not know who reached out to them by way of Twitter or LinkedIn or anything like that? Yeah, like it's so the question is it possible at all in any of these channels that anybody's going to ping you and you not be home? Cover those ones.
And if you're the social media manager for Giro, I really would like a response.
Question or response from Giro Helmets? You seriously have one more question, right? We have 8.5 minutes. All right. Thank you, Lisa. And you guys have to be ready to run.
First, let me speak for the whole SEMpdx group to say we're both all so very happy you guys are safe in here with us. That's awesome. Yeah. You're awesome people and visionaries. And oh God, I have heels on. Be gentle. So can you guys talk a little bit about how you work with brands and their brand strategies team to come up with the content strategy prior to execution? Because we see a lot of, just to Marty's point, it's not Pinterest or LinkedIn are not strategies, they're channels. So coming up with that content strategy first is important. Can you guys talk to your experience about how you work with brand strategy teams?
Well, first of all, my dear, I am a marketer that uses Facebook, not a Facebook that does marketing. Second, the best way to work with a brand is to find out what they're good at already and amplify that. Go get more of that shit, for sure. Like, the very first thing to do is to analyze what worked before, right? Like, we're marketers. We amplify all that is good. And once we've maxed out amplifying what is good and already works, then we open up new verticals, right? So amplify what works and then find additional verticals to open up.
And take. Well, so I feel like I should be on a knee talking to you, Lisa. It just seems right. And start with an inventory of what resources they already have, right? I think so many times marketers, advertising folk come to a new engagement with a client and don't think about what do they already have. You want to jump in and start building, but the first step should always be what resources exist and how can I make those work for me in this new media.
Also, there's often a lot of low-hanging stuff, low-hanging fruit. Brands that are ignoring amazing things that are happening in social. Brands that are ignoring people that hate their competitors. Like brands that are customers who are asking for things to no response. Like, that's a great place to start too. I can't see after looking in that projector.
I won't run, but I will heel toe speed walk.
Could you quit choosing people who are so far back?
I'll run to you. I was wondering what you think is the future and what excites you about neuropsychological marketing. I can't keep up. My eyes can't move that fast.
Could you repeat the question? Just kidding.
Yes.
I heard it.
Okay.
So the most exciting thing about the future is a room full of beautiful marketers in Portland who are studying how to handle data. Marketing is becoming largely a data and list building exercise. For example, y'all know what retargeting is, right? Y'all know you can retarget into Facebook. What if I drive someone into my web page from a big money query, say a $40 keyword, a keyword that sells stuff that I get 6% conversion for, and I retarget the other 94% into Facebook, but I filter it again. Say I'm selling binoculars. I drive people in with a keyword, Nikon binoculars. Costs a fortune, right? And I retarget them, but filtered by people who like birding or opera or outdoor camping things. And so I'm not retargeting everyone that came to my page. I'm retargeting them into social with another filter. And then when I drive them back to my website again, I build another cookie pool that has the merged query and psychographic segment, which is a true persona. So if I said that marketing in social is becoming largely a list building and data exercise, and he or she who keeps track of that data wins, that's the most exciting thing. Look, targeting is empirical and distribution is ubiquitous. We can say anything we want to anyone. We could build layers and follow them until we are done with them. The most exciting thing in marketing right now is that it's easy to prove that marketers are not the reason it won or the problem that caused failure. Data is so good.
I just had nothing to add.
Listen, marketing is list building again, people. It's about list building. Look, take that email list and run it into Facebook custom audiences and filter it by economic status. You can sell to everyone or only the ones that can afford it. That's easy. Am I scaring you?
Another question. We have a few minutes left. All right, guess what? It's up front, but now you're in back. Excuse me.
I'm coming for you.
Oh, jeez.
You have no idea how much I love this conference. I wrote a blog post about why this is an important national conference in our blockchain. I mean every word of it. This was my first speaking engagement anywhere ever in 2009.
question was around
Sorry about the whole sweat thing, Todd.
my question was around Facebook specifically for B2B marketers, and just if you had any, for one of the myths you had was that social doesn't work for B2B, and you hear that a lot, and a lot of B2Bs have tried social and done poorly, and there's some companies that have done it better. But I was curious specifically for Facebook, where you're talking to individuals and they're in their personal space. It's not LinkedIn where they're in a corporate or professional mind frame. Do you have any takeaways or tips for that?
People online engage with content. Sometimes it's paid content, sometimes it's business content, sometimes it's personal content. They don't, we don't, in the main, end the day at 5 o'clock and say, I'm no longer thinking about work, right?
Sometimes it's better when they don't expect it.
Yep.
So here's a couple of really practical tips. First of all, in more demographics, occupational psychographics like job titles are kind of bullshit, but you can find it in the interest bucket. If somebody's interested in radiology technician, I don't think they're liking the radiology technician fan page, right? We've been pulling job titles out of the interest bucket for years and years. Listen, we've used Facebook ads to sell $150 million water treatment plants, orthodontic adhesive to dentists, grooved couplings for people that build Olympic stadiums in China. Like, it's amazing. People that don't think that social outside of LinkedIn are for B2B. Hey, you guys, Facebook sucks for B2B. There's more for you and me. There's more for you and me. And you have to be very, very intentional about what part of the targeting you use for what. Remember that Facebook targeting is interests, more demographics, behaviors, right? So you have to really be intentional about where you pull the data from. But people are professionals every minute of every day. And it's all the same people. These are all the same people. Did I scare you?
Just to reiterate, start with the content, right? Because if the content is there, they're going to engage with it. It's, they're home late at night. Whoever they have to tend to is in bed, and they're poking around on Facebook, and they see something that's interesting and might make their life better at work. They're going to click on it, they're going to engage with it, and hopefully you'll be able to sell them something.
So guess what, guys? That wraps it up for this session. Let's give these two a hand.